You guys don't even know what it's like. It's so fucking... What the f was that? What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Thesis, aka Thesis himself, from Vaping with Thesis. That's right, God bless it. Now, look, today we've got the Asmodus Voluna V2. First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Asmodus for sending these bad boys out. I do got an extra one that I will be giving away. And then, of course, a huge shout out to my Ninja Kitties on the Patreon page, patreon.com/ThesisHimself. Hashtag NinjaMilitia, motherfuckers. I appreciate the shit out of y'all. Now, with that being said, fuck the small talk. Let's go and get into the Voluna V2. Okay, smother truckers. Now, generally speaking, I would put some music here. However, this time around, I figured I'd just like to hear myself talk. You feel me? Let's go just look at the beauty of this fucking device. It's all set up in this weird, crazy, circular, cylindrical looking box. I know that's kind of a oxymoron with box being, you know, corners and shit, but fuck it. Open up this little manual. You see this little adorable shit. Look how fast my hands are moving. I edited this shit dope, son. Look at that. Look at the way they fucking packed that shit with the Allen wrench. Speaking of Allen wrenches, can we just stop with flatheads? I'm so fucking annoyed with flatheads. You have no idea. The only time I ever use flatheads to pry shit the fuck open. Otherwise, I use a Dremel and turn a flathead into a Phillips. Hold on, I gotta take a vape. You feel me? And look, I know I'm gonna talk about this on the intro at some point, but fuck it, I'm gonna talk about it now. This is fat couple. Look, and I have nothing against fat people. I'm fat as fuck too. Like, don't get me wrong. So, it has nothing to do with that. But there's this chick, and I listened to her on the radio, and she was livid. She was fucking livid at the fact that they put a weight limit on donkeys in Greece or some shit like that. Look, lady, it's not fat shaming. I know that's what you want it to. You're claiming that you're being fat shamed because you're hurting the donkeys. How the fuck was God supposed to know? I'm gonna make these donkeys be so strong they can hold up Americans in Greece, okay? There's nothing, you can't just make a donkey bigger the same way you can a bus seat or a fucking airplane. That's not possible. It's not because you're being fat shamed or body shamed, anything like that. It's the simple fact of the matter, you shouldn't be hurting animals. You shouldn't be that big and on a fucking donkey. I'm not trying to say, if you're 300 pounds, you just can't get on a fucking unicycle. There's certain things you can't do at certain sizes. You feel me? Like, why? There's so many things out there that people complain about that aren't worth complaining about. Granted, that's exactly what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? And it goes back to the whole Yeti Sasquatch thing. If y'all have been a part of the channel for a long time, you know what I'm talking about. But it's just, the Yeti is a fucking, mummies are my least favorite. Mummies, out of all of the mythological creatures out there in the movie universe, mummies are by far and away the dumbest, the fucking dumbest thing I've ever seen. Nothing about a mummy is scary. Motherfucker, if you take a feather and just tickle that motherfucker's face, he's gonna fall apart. He's disintegrated. He's turned into beef jerky. You think that's supposed to be scary? What were people doing in the 1930s? What was life like? You had World War I. In the 40s, you had World War II. When the fuck was World War I? Was it in the teens? Whatever. World War II was scary enough. And you were scared by some mummies? By some fucking mummies and a swamp thing. I tried, and I'm never trying to judge anybody. If you like those kind of movies, that's on you. You're wrong, but you're allowed to do it. I don't understand old movies like that. It's not scary. And nowadays, I mean, we don't have better examples. The Conjuring, that's about it. The Conjuring, there's a few of them out there. It Follows is pretty spooky. Otherwise, it's so hard to make a believable, scary movie. It's hard to make any movies believable. And I like movies that kind of take you out that fantasy realm, like Deadpool 2. Fucking hilarious. Deadpool 2 is even better than 1. But in my opinion, like those kind of movies, the ones that take you out of reality, and it's not that you believe that it can happen, it's just so ridiculous that you're like, okay, well then, if they're not going to be realistic about it, then it's funny. Whereas I just have a hard time watching movies in general when they're not realistic. If something can happen in real life, I'll call it out in the movie. Put it that way. Bitch, it's okay, smother truckers. Now my ranting and bullshit is over, so we can go back to regular view. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Now my final summation is this. The Asmodus Voluna V2, in my humble opinion, is by far and away the best RTA I've received from Asmodus. End of sentence. Now that of course comes with a caveat. It depends upon your vape style. My personal vape style is wide open, smooth, and easy to build on. If you can hit all three of those things, you've got a solid recipe. Though of course you want to add your own schmutz, your own special spices and herbs, and that's what they did. The twist and top cap on here really is my only complaint. The twisty portion on the top, I wish had a locking mechanism. The fact that they stopped using the whole top cap as a drip tip and they include an 810 drip tip is much better in my opinion, especially with the dual O-rings on that bad boy. This 810 drip tip it's stuck in there. Once it's in there, it's fucking in there. That's it. End of sentence. You ain't got to worry about it popping off. The fucking deck on it is beautiful. I love that weird ass off-kiltered looking deck. That shit is perfect for any coils. You've got a monstrous amount of room in there for giant coils, any type of coils you want. 3.2 milliliters of capacity. Not enough. It's just not enough. If you're going to throw some insane coils on this bitch, you better have 5 mils. Easy 5 mils. I can go through 5 mils. Where is it? On my Fire Luke, I can go through 5 mils on my Fire Luke in a matter of 3 to 4 hours, depending on how much I'm vaping. If I'm going to throw some crazy ass builds in this specific tank, I want there to be a bubble glass included. Now here's the deal. I did some sizing differentiations and shit. It turns out that this Fire Luke, the Fire Luke Mesh Pro, as well as the original Fire Luke Firelock version, none of that mesh, that fucking mesh Fire Luke sucks. Sorry, it just does. Fire Luke Mesh Pro, those coils are great. The Fire Luke Firelock, first ever Fire Luke ever introduced by Freemax, that one's the best one in my opinion because it doesn't have this rotating top, but this one's got the unscrew one. That's besides the point. Point is, this glass fits on this tank. Come on, focus, you fuck. This glass fits on that tank. Best part. So now that I know how to get that 5 mil capacity out of this tank, believe you me, this RTA is going to stay in my collection forever. It just is. I fucking love it. The clouds and the flavor that are generated from that dome-shaped chimney. It's a pleasure to use this tank. It's a pleasure to build on. It's a pleasure to wick. It's a pleasure to refill because I'm not getting leakage. Not only am I not getting leakage, but I'm also not getting dry hits. If, you know, granted, almost every RTA, if you wick that shit properly in the way that you're supposed to, it's going to be a good vape. This, on the other hand, it goes above and beyond. It's not just a good vape. It's not just a solid vape. In my experience, for my vaping style, this is by far and away one of the best RTAs I've used in 2018. That's without me kissing ass. That's without me. You guys know that I love Asmodus. The deal is I'm always going to give them a fair shake. Meaning, if it sucks, I'm going to tell you what parts suck or if the whole device sucks. The fact of the matter is nothing about this sucks except for the top cap being twisty and not lockable. That shit is just annoying. Come on, like... twist caps, what the fuck? Flavor and clouds that make me forget about the twist cap. What can I say? Watch these, just watch. The depth of flavor I get with this tank is beyond words. Find an RTA that's gonna beat that. Look, they're out there, I'm sure. I haven't tried every RTA on the planet. If you're not a fan of clouds or wide open airflow, this shit is not meant for you. What does Thesis's finger of comfortability scale say? In terms of practicality, we're gonna bring it down a notch. I was gonna say 8.5, we're gonna go ahead and bring it down to a 7.8. You can't be practical with 3.2 milliliters because it's gonna fucking be gone instantaneously. More importantly, when it's in your pocket, all you gotta do is just push it up against your thigh and it's open. Next thing you know, you've got a fucking sieve on your hands. In terms of overall performance, 9. You can't get better than that. That's enough drooling over the shit. It's beautiful, I like it, I love it, it's all good. Bitch, it's okay, mother truckers. Now with that being said, I want to tell y'all that I appreciate y'all for vaping with Thesis. It is your boy Thesis, I'm out.